Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. It's my honor and privilege now to welcome Saurabh Garg, Chief Executive Officer, Unique Identification Authority of India, UIDAI, for the chief guest address titled India's Ultimate Technoviti Saga, How Adhaar Became the Game Changer. Mr. Garg, over to you.
It's a pleasure to be here amongst all the experts on this event of ETH. And I'm happy to speak to you about the Adhaar ecosystem and how it has transformed the landscape over the past decade. We've now reached a stage where 100% of all adults who are resident in India have an Adhaar number. And I think that's a considerable journey that we have traversed since the first Adhaar was given in 2010. It has brought about an identity which is acceptable everywhere, which is recognized nationally, and it has been the means of empowerment for a large number of people who are living at the margins, vulnerable sections, and others who did not have until then a means to be able to say who they are. The access and the possibility of delivery of services that is feasible just because a person can say who I am can only be believed once you talk to those people who did not have an identity or who struggled to prove themselves through the myriad number of identities that were available. Recognizing this, I think the United Nations, when they set out their Sustainable Development Goals in 2015, have incorporated the need for legal identity for all as one of the Sustainable Development Goals. In fact, by the year 2030, the United Nations SDGs have incorporated that all nations should strive to give a legal identity to all their citizens and residents. There have been a number of studies also done which say that the kind of benefits that a country gets can range from anywhere between 3% of GDP to 13% of GDP just because of the availability of a legal identity. So the transformation that has happened can also be seen in India, that we are now able to deliver services and schemes in a manner which could not have been thought of before the existence of Adhaar. Starting this was, of course, the Jan Dhan Yojana in 2014-15, where bank accounts were created for those people without bank accounts in the attempt for financial inclusion. And we've reached a stage now that around 43 crore bank accounts have been created because of the Know Your Customer norms which Adhaar has facilitated. Presently, nearly 140 crore bank accounts are there, out of which 120 crore are Adhaar linked. So out of the 133 crore Adhaars, 136 crore is our estimated population, and you have 140 crore bank accounts. So the universalization concept which Adhaar initiated is now spread to the banking system. And the second area, along with the Jan Dhan Yojana and the Adhaar, has of course been the mobile penetration, which also has been facilitated by the ability for people to be onboarded onto the mobile system through the Adhaars. We have nearly 120 crore SIM cards or phones in the system. So we have now reached a stage where there's a near universalization of bank accounts, Adhaars, and mobiles. And this is the trinity, the JAM trinity, the Jan Dhan Adhaar mobile trinity, which has in a way become the bedrock for a lot of digital initiatives across the different sectors. The JAM Trinity, along with the Unified Payments Interface, has enabled digital payments to be spread across the nation. And during the COVID times, the benefits of that were clearly visible, wherein the government was able to transfer through the direct benefits transfer schemes to people across the country through their Adhaar numbers, which effectively has become the financial address, transfer funds to them. And people were able to withdraw funds sitting in their homes without the need to go to a bank branch, which may be 5 or 7 kilometers away, by the fact that through the Adhaar-enabled payment systems, every shopkeeper has a mini or a micro ATM, as it is called, or by using fingerprint access, people are able to withdraw cash. So the payments ecosystem, I think globally has been recognized to be something revolutionary what India has done. And I think it's a combination of the JAM Trinity and the UPI interface that this has been made possible. Along with this ecosystem has also, of course, been the growth in the connectivity and the internet systems, whether it's the BharatNet program or the PM Vani program, which is now enabling that every village will have optic fiber access. And due to that, even if a person doesn't have a smartphone, does not have a feature phone, but the fact that you have over 5 lakh citizen service centers where there is a young person sitting out there with a computer, access to the internet, access to the computer is available in every village. And a combination of this is what has really revolutionized the public information data and the data space. And I think this is one of the reasons why the data usage in India is one of the highest in terms of per capita terms. Along with this fact is also that while the Adhaar is the digital rails for a number of programs, the government has ensured that nearly around 1,000 odd programs are using the Adhaar ecosystem. There are more than 300 programs of the government of India and nearly more than 600 programs of the state governments, which have enabled removal of ghost beneficiaries, ensuring deduplication so that the same person or the same family is not twice under the same scheme. And the savings due to this in selected schemes has been estimated at more than 2 lakh crores for the government, which enables the government to reach out to a larger number of people and provide a more number of benefits. So in sum, I would say the digital landscape has transformed over the 10 years. And it's not only due to Adhaar, but also due to the fact that a number of programs and applications have been developed which ride on the digital systems that have been enabled because of Adhaar. Going forward, I can only imagine that how the physical world and the digital world will only get more intertwined, and Adhaar as an identity provides the perfect segue both for the physical and the digital world, by the fact that in the physical world, the card, the paper, the physical card and the physical Adhaar paper card help in access, and in the digital world, the biometrics enable that. At the same time, we are very cognizant of the need to maintain information security, maintain the privacy of the individual, and that is something that has been built into the architecture of Adhaar, that it's a question of privacy by design. And therefore, we always remain abreast on the latest techniques or on the latest technologies available for the security of our systems, for the insurance of the cyber security of our platforms, and to enable that people are able to use Adhaar without the fear of any mischief being or without the without any mischief happening at any level. So with these words, once again, thank you for inviting me. Thank you for this occasion to be able to speak to a large number of people in the private sector also. And we look for greater collaboration and greater consultations with the different stakeholders in how Adhaar can become the basis for the ease of living of residents. And I think that is what is going to govern our next 10 years of Adhaar, how Adhaar can help in every which way, both on the government programs and what the different programs and assistance that the private sector gives to help in the ease of living of residents. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Saurabh Garg, for gracing us with your presence at this summit. Adhaar, like you mentioned, has been truly a game changer. We wish you, as the Chief Executive Officer of UIDAI, the very best going forward. I think your address sets the tone for the discussions to follow. Do stay tuned in, ladies and gentlemen. We will be back in a couple of minutes with the guest of honor address.